So we're done eating. We're gonna head back home and drop off the things that we got at the market and head over to the mall. We've got to do some shopping, so you get to see what that experience looks like. Going to the mall. Going to the mall in Brazil is a little bit different than what it looks like in the United States. I think it's particularly because we're inland, so there's not a lot of beaches, and from what Barbara tells me, this is like a social thing. So I think what you're going to see is a lot of people who are actually dressed up more than what you would normally expect them to be. So we're gonna head over there and then we'll see you back then. What on earth?
Esse é o presidente de guerra, velho. Olha as duas dos caras, velho.
Olha aqui.
Eu achei isso também.
lá pro corredor.
Se precisar entrar, eu entro lá dentro, vocês também da loja?
Ó, tô entrando no shopping.
Dentro do BH Shopping, o negócio é sério, viu, gente? O negócio não é brinquedo. O golpe é armado até o dente.
All right, so second take. So we had to make some adjustments for the lighting and everything. So we watched the video, and obviously that wasn't the most pleasant experience to go through. But it was, I mean, based on, I know that was scary for you, definitely not something that I ever want to go through again. What did you feel like in that moment? What was that like going through that? You've never been through something like that before.
Yeah, I've lived here for 24 years. My aunt lives like beside the mall for her entire life, so it's at least that we know of close to 45 years that we have never seen a robbery or a heist or an assault or anything similar to that, especially in the BH Mall, which is the nicest mall.
Yeah.
Hence the Rolexes and everything there. I think it's just.
Is this maybe from what you heard and what your brother said? This is like kind of a high-profile gang that goes around.
Yes, so it's for what they know, it's a gang from São Paulo that they go in the main cities where there are nice malls where they can find Rolexes and Bulgari and those kind of nice jewelry, and they don't do any harm. All they want is to just go break, get the Rolexes and walk away, but you never know, somebody who has a gun, they are ready to use it.
Sure.
So it was very scary, but like you say, the response of the police was within 2-3 minutes at the most.
Impressive, really impressive.
Yeah, so the police and the army and also the Brazilian SWAT, it's called BOP, they arrived in a matter of minutes, and they were ready to get the bad guys. So that makes everybody feel safe, but regardless, it's a very unusual experience, one that we are not used to in Brazil, and people were like, hey, Belo Horizonte is not the same anymore, our city is not the same anymore.
But I think that's like an interesting thing to say, because it is so out of the norm, and the fact that this is a criminal gang, and I mean, from what I saw, they're incredibly professional. Like they're very good at this. And you know, the fact that they came from Sao Paulo to here doesn't say anything bad about Belo Horizonte. It's just that this is a traveling gang. And
exactly. They like to travel, and the thing is that they opened the Rolex store
just a few ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a few weeks ago. And as soon as they opened the Rolex store, you know, in the United States you have armed people right in front of those kind of jewelry store in Omega. You can find that on Rolex store. Even in Burberry clothing store, you find armed people around. And in Brazil, people kind of, I think they were kind of counting with, hey, who's gonna rob the BH Mall? I mean, it's like, who's gonna rob the Galleria? Who's gonna rob the nicest mall of the city? So they were kind of confident that, you know, not having anything around would not have anything happening. And
I don't think that was an incorrect assumption either, because every single day after lunchtime, the state police are stationed there until well past midnight, like within what, maybe 200 meters at the most.
yeah.
And then you've got when I go running in that area quite a lot. And I very often see at least a couple of motorcycle cops going through that whole neighborhood.
Patrolling, they patrol all of the neighborhoods.
And then within what, maybe 2.5, 3 kilometers, there's an army base.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just like, I just don't know how these guys came to the
boldness.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking.
Quite a few bold guys. So the police is very diligent, the army is very diligent and all, and for that reason they count on it. And the bandits were just like from other states. They probably were even unaware that the army is so close by.
Yeah.
I mean, they were that's why they took one of the guards as a hostage, probably. If they had taken civilian hostage, that would be even a bigger deal.
I've seen. I remember last year there was that guy that had killed a couple people, and like the police just overwhelmed that area until they found that guy.
What guy are you talking
It was a guy in a different state, and he killed like some families or something, and it was like all over the news, and they were following him around, and he was out in the country or something like that.
Oh yes, it was a serial killer.
Right, yeah, but they found him. I mean, they found him within days.
Yeah.
And it was like all hell broke loose on that poor guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, and there was no remorse. It was impressive.
Yeah, he ended up being killed. So.
But anyways, I mean, the point is that the way that I think about this is that within 20 minutes you had the SWAT team, which is the Bobby, and then you also had the Army just a few kilometers away, and they just like ran all the way to the mall.
Yeah.
And there was I counted at least 20 of them, plus countless police force. And for me to kind of put that in perspective, I think about like the riots and the looting and everything that happened in the United States, last year, and that was just, Los Angeles and New York and San Francisco and places like that. I would never move to one of those places. I feel so much safer here than I do, would ever even consider moving to one of those places, just because of the crime there. I mean, within half a kilometer, there's a state police station right next to our neighborhood. I mean, I know I can see it. It's just right over there on the other side of that hill. And so, we've also got the security at the gate, and so and every time you drive up and down this highway, every single time I drive up and down, there's at least a couple state police that I pass, going one direction or the other. So, whenever I think about all those things, it doesn't make me feel any less safe to be here and having been through that, primarily because I know how incredibly rare this is and what the circumstances were around it. So I guess the only reason, the reason that we're having this video is that, this idea for recording this is life in Brazil. This is part of our life in Brazil, but I don't think it's necessarily normal life in Brazil by any means.
No, it's a rare event.
Yeah.
It's definitely a rare event. What I want to make sure that people would know is that there is this talk going in the United States, people talking about Brazil being not a safe place or being not a good place to go because of the violence or whatever, and that's really a taboo. It is real. There is nothing even close to that. Brazil is a very, very safe place. Assault or heist or anything like that is a very, very rare thing, and nobody got hurt, thankfully, and it's just things happen, bad things happen everywhere and anywhere, and it's not because we are living here that we are in a higher risk at all. So that's interesting, and it's good to put out there because it's part of our experience, but it's like 1 in 1 million kind of event.
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe more than that. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's our story of last weekend on Saturday. But we'll have a lot more to share, and fortunately and unfortunately, this is probably the most dramatic thing that we'll ever have to share with this channel. So, until next time, see y'all later. That was good. What do you think about that? You feel
I
good?
think it was good.
Okay.